executive session. So moved.
Oh,
Second.
wait, hold on. Now what?
Okay. Need a motion to come out of executive session. So moved. Second. Aye. All those in favor?
Aye.
Let's go back to the resolutions. The resolutions 1 through 5 and 40 as it relates to the appointment of the staff of the IDA. There'll be a 3% increase, annual increase in their compensation. I'd like to have a motion for resolutions 27 and 39 as it relates to incentive compensation.
So moved.
Second. Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. And as it relates to resolution 19, adopting a uniform tax exempt policy, I'd like the resolution to table that for today. So moved. Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
I also think it's important to note that the moratorium stays in place.
Thank
Yes.
you. Yes. Okay, back to you.
Sorry, I'm trying to get back into our. Yes. Okay, so just a couple of things that aren't on the agenda, I just want to mention very quickly. I know I had sent out an application for Gold Glass. They sent us a letter and asked us to not proceed with their application. So we'll keep in touch with them, see if we can help them in the future. But for right now, they've decided against purchasing the building.
Which would have been very nice because the high temp building has been vacant probably for the better part of 2 years.
Yes,
Right off County Road 101.
Lisa and I have talked with them, and I think there might be an opportunity for us to continue the dialogue and possibly find them either a new location for them to build ground up, or some possibility of existing buildings that might be available.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. I also just wanted to bring to everyone's attention that the award that we received from Discover Long Island is right there. And also at your spots, Amy put together an update to this card with the 2019 numbers. So you can add this to your wallet.
Thank you.
So you have quick reference of what we've done in the past few years. The next item on the agenda is the resolution for the uniform tax exemption policy, which Fred just said we are tabling. After that is a authorizing resolution for United Rentals. That is in your packets on page 18. Included in your packets is the cost benefit analysis. We had a public hearing. There was no comment received. Just to remind everybody, this was a project that we did probably a year ago. They're under construction, and they came back to us and asked if we would increase the sales and use tax benefits to $379,500 on purchases in an amount not more than $4.4 million. Previously, it had been purchases in the amount not to exceed $229,000, the sales and use tax. So that's the request. We held the public hearing, there was no comment. And just to remind you that this is United Rentals is building a facility in East Patchogue on Orchard Road.
Do we need to extend the date for the sales tax on this? That's okay.
On this one, yeah, they still
Okay.
had time.
All right, motion. So moved. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
We already passed the Orbit Bloom resolution. The next item on the agenda is the Brightview Port Jefferson LLC project. This cost benefit analysis and proposed pilot is in your packets on page 28. Also, we had a public hearing the other day. There were comments, which we live streamed the public hearing, so you can watch it. But just to give you an overview, the comments were basically, there were 6 speakers. One said he wanted the civic associations to be formally informed of public hearings. So somebody else in the public hearing pointed out that the law says that we have to, the law defines who we have to formally inform of our public hearings. And the rest of the speakers basically said the same things, which broke down to concerns about the school district having recently passed a bond, and that they felt that this project would not pay their fair share towards the school district taxes, and also concerns this is an assisted living, that there would be increased burden on the emergency services. And since there was a pilot, that they wouldn't have their quote unquote fair share. That was the phrase that was used in the public hearing a lot. Those were the main pieces that I took from their comments. No one from the school district, and I think if anyone was from the fire department, they did not represent them. They didn't say that that was their affiliation. Most of the people were either residents or from the civic association. So those were the public hearing comments that were shared from the public hearing that we had the other day. And like I said, the cost benefit analysis and the proposed pilot, they're in your packets.
This is on property on 112, just north of the old Meadow Club.
Sorry, you know what, I can give you and you're very small, but
I think these civics need to be educated on actually what we actually do. For some reason, I think they think we're giving away money, you know,
well, we actually spoke to them about going into one of their meetings. And
Yeah, I
they're
mean-
going to reach out to us with dates.
it's,
Does an AOC believe the same?
yeah, well, that's what I'm trying to say, that there's a bank account with money sitting in it where, you know, that land may sit vacant, pay X, and then when the project's done after 10 years, it could be paying Y. And Y is a lot greater than X.
And in this-
you know, it's actually gonna make more money.
This pilot is actually increases 10% per year after 3 years
Right.
of land only.
If the
So-
project doesn't get built,
It's
I just
22,000
didn't know-
a year, they're paying X.
I was listening to the comments and it
Same
just,
here,
it
yeah.
seemed like, as Marty just said, they don't understand how these projects work and what the actual benefit is. So to the extent that you guys can educate them, it might make your lives a lot easier at these
The
hearings.
three of us are planning to go when we're invited.
Yeah, good luck.
Because that was brought up at the thing that we went to in November with all the other IDAs about how if they're educated, they understand what we're doing here.
We did speak to some of the participants after the public hearing was over, and just a casual conversation with them, so that was part of the education.
And this
process.
project is assisted living, right? That's
It's
the one we're talking about,
assisted living,
right?
Yep, it's a
So-
170 unit senior living community on 8.7 acres of land. It's independent living, assisted living, and memory care units. It'll have a theater, library, dining venues, activity spaces.
Sort of like Jefferson's Fair.
That's fine.
The total number of jobs,
94.
it's about 100.
Yeah.
94?
I think 94.
Yeah,
This is a final authorizing resolution.
this is a final authorization.
Okay, move it.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
The next item on the agenda is a request that we received from H.O. Penn Machinery Company. They are rehabbing a vacant building, and they asked us if we could give them additional time on their sales tax exemption and also an increase in the amount of sales tax that they could spend. It came in under the requirement for a public hearing, so there's a resolution to increase their sales tax, the amount of sales tax that can be abated by $90,000 and extend their completion date and their sales tax exemption completion till the end of June 2020.
The 90,000 increase would take it to how much?
Yes. So they actually asked for, they're in the packets. Their letter is in the packets on page 34. So they actually asked for a little bit less, but we thought we're better off to increase them. They actually asked for 50,000 But rather than having to come back,
Okay,
You can
Just
do
do it
$100,000 of new benefits.
Okay.
And it's because of, delaying, materials.
cost of materials. Sure.
yeah,
So you're saying we could go up to 100 without having another hearing?
A benefit.
A benefit.
benefit.
Yes. Motion? Thank you. Second?
Second.
Marie? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And the next item is basically the exact same situation, WHTB Glass, which is in the Shirley Industrial Park. It's the glass, the Chinese glass company.
How's that one doing?
Well, they're chugging along, but they asked if they could have additional time and additional money as well. And again, we thought we should just increase it to $90,000, give them a little bit of a buffer. And they asked if they could be extended to September of 2020, but we thought we'd push it out till the end of October, just to give them a little more time as well.
You know, when you file a form with the state, it says expected expiration or estimated amount of exemption, the state views those as hard and fast. So even though it says estimated, that's the cap, and at the expected completion date, whatever date, it just ends. There's no, their form looks like it's vague, it's not.
Did they purchase their building?
They built it.
They built their own building.
Yeah, the only
So-
thing, is they don't have a permanent CO yet.
Okay. They own the building.
Well,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
because they're still working on it.
Yeah.
So we know they'll be around for a while.
Yes. Motion, so moved. Thank you. Second? Aye. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries again. Okay.
In your packets on page 37 is the 2019 project recap. So this was discussed in December, but this is the final version of it. We actually had some closings since then. And Felix had asked for some information. I'm gonna wait to go over it until Felix is here, so having to do with what the board has done in the past year, but it really gets outlined in Paris. So in March, when we have the final Paris numbers, we'll have a better idea as far as highly paid, collections, exemptions, number of projects, that sort of thing. So I was gonna go over that a little bit, but we'll wait until Felix is back. So that's just an FYI, that's in your packets. Does anyone have any questions on that? Yeah, yep. And also the card that has sort of the synopsis of what's in this also. We already did on the comments. Blue Point Brewery Solar, I thought I might have something to present to you. They told us that they put solar on the roof of the building and they need us to sign something, but they never came and asked about it first, and they're not getting any benefits on it. So when they come back and ask if they're allowed to do it, I guess, I'll bring it to you and we'll discuss how that impacts their project. So that's just an update that is happening.
Can I ask a question? So they've already installed it, and now they're gonna come and ask if they can do it.
But they asked us.
Forgiveness.
Yeah.
They asked us to sign a subordination on disturbance agreement.
So you need to be aware before I can sign anything, so since we're not.
Had they been like other projects came forward, they could have given themselves that exemption and pilot exemption. Since they didn't do that, and it's already built, their pilot payments will go up based on the value of solar on the roof.
And they didn't receive the tax exemption on the materials.
Doesn't talk to us.
So there'll be more information. The next item on the agenda is the legislative update. It's on page 45 of your packet. This is mostly just an FYI that there was legislation. It was vetoed by the governor, but this legislation would have required IDAs to notify all school district officials and board members of deviations from their UTEP through certified mail with read receipt. But The governor vetoed it. The letter that he sent explaining his veto is in the packets also. He basically said IDAs are already required to notify the school district. So why are we notifying the specific board members? So that was in there. And then the last thing is the New York State Senate Investigations and Government Operations Committee. If you recall, we sent around this report that came out in December. There was one item in it that stated that we did not have an ethics, I think it was ethics, that we did not have an ethics policy, thank you, on our website. And I disagree, because if you click on our website, it takes you to the ethics policy. They didn't like the way we had it set up. So we reconfigured ours a little bit. We didn't really get a response that they were going to correct their report, although we did ask them to. But we changed our website to make it a little more transparent, even though it was there before you clicked on the button. But we updated it the way that they felt we should. So the report still says we don't have one when we do in fact have one, and it is in fact on our website. But that's that, as I said.
Okay.
If we want to have,
Brian, anything you want to add to
Yeah,
our?
absolutely. So, hello everyone, Happy New Year. On behalf of the whole firm. So I just wanted to run through a couple of different things about the end of last year and then forward facing, talking about January 2020 and beyond. So in the past month of December, we put out and early January, we put out two separate press releases, one about the Discover Long Island Award that you won, and also about C2 New York, which went out earlier this month. The Discover Long Island Award actually got some pickup on Yahoo Finance and MarketWatch. So if you haven't seen those links, I can send them over your way. And additionally, C2 New York was sent out to the local papers around here and also sent out to Long Island Business News. So hopefully in the coming weeks, we'll start to see some movement on that and talking about the greater solar components here in Brookhaven. Some social media insights that you might find interesting. In December, I think probably because of the holidays and other things along those lines, people weren't visiting the page as much. We also weren't running any paid advertisements on the site at that time. But so far this year, there's been 184 page views in the 8 days since the new year. So I think that's probably showing that people are, looking to talk business come the launch of the new decade. And last month's two highest producing posts were both actually about the Discover Long Island Award. One was about the gala with the photo of you all, and also one was about Discover Long Island honoring you. Those two alone had a post reach of about 380, and month long we had about 50 interactions, which is kind of low, but generally speaking, our posts are more informative, not necessarily engaging, which coming 2020, I'd like to, make more interactive. Also, as Lisa mentioned in our email back and forth with us earlier, we're going to be focusing on LinkedIn a little bit more than Facebook in the coming few weeks. I think that's more of a professional platform, and we're going to be focusing both on the IDA's page as LinkedIn as essentially like a company page for people to interact with that page as a site, go to it as a resource to find out what's going on with the IDA, what is being done, what was done last meeting, when's the next meeting, that type of stuff. But geared more towards professionals in the area, not geared towards, people that we want to conduct business with and continue to conduct business with, not just people that are, everyday Facebook users. And we have, generally speaking, like a 2020 social overview plan. It's fairly exhaustive, but I'll just hit some treetops. We want to modernize the Facebook page and some things along those lines. We're working with social media people on our team, social media team, to try to modernize the page, make sure the page looks nice, is compatible with your brand new beautiful website, that type of stuff. And focus obviously more on LinkedIn, connecting with people you've already done business with, people that might do business with the IDA, and try to establish those connections and turn them into real meaningful dialogue. And And likely additionally to one of the successes that we had in the past year, which was our advertising campaign that we focused on the boroughs, making sure that the boroughs remembered that the IDA, in Brookhaven and out here east on Long Island, was functional and was a resource for them. I think that we should probably try to do something additional this year, similar, but also target places, not only in the 5 boroughs, but all throughout, with compatible industry needs. So if, one area is looking to expand and we have a, fitting region for that, focus on that. And that should come between, discussion between Lisa, and Jim, and the board and our firm. So, and one more thing, Carol Trottier, she will be working on our team as well. She's, in addition, has exhaustive experience in the communications world. Most recently was at North Hempstead, and is going to be a valued member of our team. So with that, anything else?
Thank you, Ryan. Any
All right.
questions?
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you. Anything else? Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.